Do you think happiness comes from money, good weather, or wild parties? Then Finland will leave you quietly confused. A country where people still wait in line even when no one's watching, where coffee is a spiritual ritual, and where the northern lights aren't just beautiful, they're whispers from the ancestors. Curious yet? Join us on a gentle, surprising, and oddly magical journey through a land where the smallest things carry the deepest meaning. A land where silence feels unreal. Some countries don't need noise to leave a mark, and Finland is one of them. This is not a place to be rushed through or quickly checked in on social media. Finland asks you to slow down, to listen and feel with your heart, not through your phone screen, and not pressured by a tight itinerary. With the lowest population density in Europe, just about 16 people per square kilometer, this country offers a gift the modern world is steadily losing: solitude without pressure and silence without loneliness. On roads that cut through endless forests, you might drive for hours without seeing another soul, just birch trees stretching to the horizon, crystal clear lakes, and perhaps a reindeer calmly crossing your path. But here's what matters. Silence does not mean emptiness. It is space where your inner world can rest, where forgotten emotions can reawaken, and your heartbeat can return to its most natural rhythm. In winter, when snow blankets the land and the sky takes on a blue-gray hue, the landscape looks like something out of a Nordic fairy tale, mystical, surreal, and heartbreakingly beautiful. Occasionally, the northern lights ripple across the freezing night sky like mythical ribbons, reminding you that magic still exists, if you're patient enough to wait and quiet enough to feel. In Finland, people do not conquer nature. They live within it, in sync, in breath. Be honest, how long do you think you could survive without seeing another human, just birch trees and a judgmental reindeer giving you side-eye? Happiness built on trust and kindness. Many nations chase happiness as a personal state of mind, but Finland has elevated it into a strong social framework. Topping the World Happiness Report for 6 consecutive years is not the result of luck or clever PR campaigns. It's the fruit of decades spent building a society where trust is not just a moral value, but the foundation of every public policy. Here, citizens trust their government because they see results. Free education that's not only accessible but high quality, universal health care for everyone, regardless of wealth, strong labor protections, and tax money that is transparently and effectively used. People aren't trapped in consumerist cycles to prove their worth. Instead, they embrace a simple, meaningful lifestyle, sipping slow coffee by the lake, hiking in the woods on weekends, spending time with loved ones for no special reason at all. Finland has built happiness not through emotional highs, but through stability, sustainability, and fairness. They understand that happiness is not a destination. It's a system where everyone is treated with kindness, heard with sincerity, and allowed to live by their values without fear of being left behind. So basically, in Finland, your taxes actually do something and no one argues over healthcare at family dinners? What kind of magical utopia is this? Finnish women and built-in equality. In Finland, gender equality isn't a battle to be fought. It's the ground everyone stands on. Women don't need to demand space in the room because the room was built with them in mind from the beginning. Whether in politics, science, education, or everyday life, female presence isn't considered remarkable. It's assumed. It's not a win when a woman becomes a leader in Finland. It's just another day in a society where potential matters more than gender. From a young age, Finnish girls grow up in an environment where no path is off limits. They're taught they can become engineers, coders, or astronauts, but also that choosing to be an artist, a teacher, or a full-time parent is equally honorable. The underlying message is simple. Ambition doesn't need permission. This mindset is backed by one of the world's most progressive infrastructures. Finland offers generous parental leave, available equally to fathers and mothers, along with universally accessible childcare. Workplaces are designed around flexibility and trust, ensuring that raising children doesn't sideline a career. Women in Finland don't have to choose between personal and professional life. They are empowered to balance both. Whether it's a young mother in a remote Lapland village or a globally known prime minister like Sami, every woman in Finland walks with the quiet confidence of someone who knows she belongs. There's no need for slogans or protests to demand equality. It's already written into the system, the culture, and the collective consciousness. In a world where many still struggle for gender equity, Finland quietly leads by living the example. Breathing nature, living responsibility. Cleanliness in Finland isn't accidental, it's intentional. It isn't just the result of untouched wilderness, but of people who view environmental care as a personal duty. Finland's forests, lakes, and skies are breathtaking not because they are untouched, but because they are protected, day by day, decision by decision. Here, nature isn't just admired, it's lived. Children learn early how to forage for mushrooms, how to tell the difference between a healing herb and a toxic one. They are taught to tread softly in the woods, to respect all life, even the tiniest ant crawling across the moss. This education is quiet but powerful, shaping generations that don't just enjoy nature, but feel responsible for it. In cities, green spaces aren't a luxury, they're a standard. Public transportation runs on clean energy, cycling is prioritized, and construction focuses on energy efficiency and sustainability. There is no sharp line between urban and rural. Both are guided by the same principle: live light on the land. Clean air, crystal clear lakes, and drinkable tap water are not just national boasts, they're considered human rights. But more importantly, they are treated as fragile rights, ones that need constant care. And so, rather than waiting for top-down regulations, Finns live by bottom-up responsibility. Recycling isn't optional, composting is common, and even the smallest household knows its footprint. Finland's environmental success doesn't come from advanced technology alone. It stems from an ancient understanding. When you live close to nature, you live with respect. And in that respect lies the key to survival. Coffee, a spiritual ritual in daily life. In Finland, coffee is not just a drink. It's a rhythm, a pause, a gentle moment built into the architecture of everyday life. While the country leads the world in coffee consumption per capita, over 12 kilograms per person annually, what's striking isn't the amount, but the mindset behind it. Coffee in Finland is a ritual of presence. Forget the espresso bars and artistic latte foam. The Finnish cup is humble, light, smooth filter coffee called kahvi, often served with milk and a pastry. It's not about caffeine kicks or gourmet bragging rights. It's about slowing down. About wrapping your fingers around a warm cup while the snow falls outside and letting your mind breathe. Even more remarkable is the legal right to rest with coffee. Kahvitauko, the mid-morning and mid-afternoon coffee breaks, are built into the workday in many Finnish offices. These aren't optional or frowned upon. They're protected time, understood to improve both mental well-being and team spirit. It's common for coworkers to gather around a table for these informal rituals, not to talk shop, but to connect as human beings. In a society that values silence, modesty, and inner peace, coffee becomes more than a beverage. It's a space between the doing, a symbolic bridge between solitude and society, between focus and reflection. Coffee helps Finns not just wake up, but feel grounded, present, and part of something quiet and meaningful. Transportation, where the law reflects social justice. In Finland, transportation is more than a way to get from point A to point B. It's a reflection of deep-seated values: fairness, respect, and collective responsibility. The roads are quiet, not just because traffic is light, but because the people behind the wheel uphold a social contract that values order and decency. It's a place where even at 2 a.m. with no one in sight, pedestrians wait for the green light and drivers don't blast their horns or cut each other off. Obedience here doesn't come from fear. It comes from a shared belief that rules exist to protect everyone. The most iconic symbol of this ethos is Finland's income-based fine system. Speeding fines and traffic violations are not fixed amounts. They're calculated according to the offender's income. A billionaire might be fined tens of thousands of euros for a minor infraction, while someone on a modest salary might pay 100 euros for the same. The reasoning is clear. The consequence should carry equal weight for everyone, regardless of wealth. This principle has powerful effects. It prevents the wealthy from treating the law as a mere inconvenience. It ensures that punishment doesn't disproportionately burden the poor, and most of all, it reinforces the idea that justice is about proportionality, not just equality on paper. Public transport in Finland is equally reflective of its values. Clean, punctual, and increasingly green, it's designed not just for efficiency but for dignity. Whether you're a student, an elderly citizen, or a high-ranking official, you're just as likely to take the tram or bus, because convenience and respect know no class in this system. In Finland, the road is a metaphor for how society should function, smoothly, safely, and with everyone carrying their fair share of responsibility. Sauna, the hidden soul of the Nordic people. When people think of Finland, they often picture snowy landscapes, frozen lakes, and the northern lights. But there's a symbol even more deeply rooted in Finnish life: the sauna, the traditional hot steam room of the Finnish people. With over 3.3 million saunas for a population of 5.5 million, it's safe to say that the sauna is an extension of the home, a sacred space for cleansing both body and soul. The origins of the sauna trace back thousands of years when Finnish ancestors built wooden chambers, heated stones, and poured water over them to create steam. Initially, saunas were used for childbirth, healing, and even funerals. Today, the tradition lives on, enriched with cultural and psychological significance. What's remarkable is that saunas make no distinctions between status, age, or gender. Inside, everyone is naked. No power dynamics, no hierarchy, a reflection of a society that values equality and authenticity. After steaming, people often plunge into icy lakes or snowbanks, experiencing an intense temperature shock that boosts circulation, relieves stress, and revitalizes energy. Nowadays, many companies, schools, and even the Finnish parliament have their own saunas. For Finns, a sauna is not just for relaxation, it's a place for meditation, deep conversation, and at times, for making life's important decisions. Helsinki, a city of calm and creativity. If there's a European city that feels like a cleansing retreat, it's Helsinki, the capital of Finland. Not as bustling as London, not as dazzling as Paris, Helsinki radiates intentional calm, a place where the urban doesn't overwhelm the human, but exists to serve a deeper way of living. On its central streets, you rarely hear car horns. Pedestrians are given top priority, public transport runs with minute-level precision, and the city is almost spotless. This isn't by accident. It's the result of human-centered urban planning that promotes walking, biking, renewable energy, and green space development in every neighborhood. Helsinki is also a symbol of creativity and cultural inclusion. The Temppeliaukio Church, known as the Rock Church, is carved directly into ancient granite, both majestic and harmoniously blended with nature. The Udi Central Library is more than a place for books. It has recording studios, a small cinema, children's play areas, and even spaces for quiet meditation. Every public building is designed with the philosophy of beauty that serves, not just beauty to admire. In Helsinki, quiet is not a sign of dullness, but the result of a society that listens, lives minimally but meaningfully, and above all, respects every citizen's right to peace. Helsinki sounds so peaceful, even the pigeons probably wait their turn to cross the street. Can we just move there and pretend deadlines don't exist? The sport of love and lifting. In today's world, where sports competitions are often consumed by records and stress, Finland takes a refreshingly different approach. Playful, intimate, and deeply human. The wife-carrying obstacle race isn't just a quirky sporting event, but a celebration of love, teamwork, and the endurance shared by life partners. The husband, with his wife securely carried on his back, must face a series of challenges, from slippery mud and steep walls to deep water sections. This isn't a field reserved for elite athletes, but a place where couples of all sizes, ages, and backgrounds can test their strength and bond. What makes the event especially entertaining is its unusual prize, the wife's weight in beer. Practical and hilarious, this reward never fails to amuse the crowd and spark affectionate laughter. Yet behind the fun lies a deeper message. In a fast-paced world where marriages are often strained by financial pressures, this race reminds us that companionship and empathy are the core of any strong relationship. The image of a husband struggling forward, yet smiling alongside his wife, becomes a living symbol of unity, perseverance, and the simple joy of moving forward together. Finland's light dancing through the dark. Finland is a country of long, dark winters. In many regions, the sun disappears completely for weeks. But instead of letting this gloom seep into their spirit, Finns have learned to ignite their own light from within. They host dazzling festivals of light as a way to resist the cold and the darkness, turning winter nights into shimmering works of art. LED lights, colored beams, glowing sculptures, all transform the snowy streets into a magical open-air gallery. When summer arrives, the scene flips entirely. The sun doesn't set for weeks. The white nights become a dreamlike backdrop for a wild and mystical season. Finns leave the cities behind and return to forests, lakes, and meadows. They hold festivals in nature, jumping over bonfires and ancient cleansing rituals, picking wildflowers to place under pillows in hopes of dreaming of a future life partner. These are more than customs. They are a philosophy of life, embracing the darkness, but not surrendering to it, seeking the light, but never forgetting where one comes from. Finns use art and nature as ways to reconnect with themselves, not loudly, not extravagantly, just a single light, a ring of fire, a flower petal is enough to begin again. Auroras over Lapland, where magic meets the heart. Lapland, the snowy land in Finland's far north, feels like a place where time stands still. Here, people live slowly, closely, and in deep harmony with nature as an inseparable part of it. But the most magical highlight of this land is the aurora borealis, those otherworldly ribbons of light that ripple across the night sky. This phenomenon can't be predicted, controlled, or owned. All you can do is wait, be silent, and hope you're lucky enough to witness it. The Sami people, the indigenous inhabitants of Lapland for thousands of years, do not see the aurora as merely a natural occurrence. To them, it is a living soul, a sacred light that carries connection between ancestors, the cosmos, and people of the present. One legend says that if you whistle under the northern lights, the spirits will hear and respond with a dance. Today, travelers from around the world flock to Lapland to view the aurora from glass-roofed cabins nestled in the snow, where you can lie in bed and watch the sky come alive. But no matter how advanced the technology becomes, the experience remains deeply spiritual. It's not about watching a beautiful sight. It's entering another reality where you feel small, yet embraced by the universe. In that moment, Lapland isn't just a place. It's a soul-stirring encounter. Humpa, tradition with a swing. The Humpa dance is unlike anything you've ever seen. It doesn't need a grand stage or elaborate costumes, just a percussion beat, a deep tuba note, and hearts ready to dance. Humpa is the spirit of Finnish folk life, lively, free-spirited, and always ready to spread joy. It's a cultural identity not locked away in museums, but lived daily in the heartbeat of communities. What's beautiful about it? Humpa excludes no one. Children, adults, the elderly. Everyone joins the circle, even when snow covers the ground. The cold doesn't deter them. It becomes a catalyst, bringing warmth through shared presence and laughter. In an era where the world is slipping into technological isolation, where people often connect through screens instead of eye contact, Humpa is a heartfelt reminder. Real connection doesn't need Wi-Fi, just music, movement, and genuine presence. This dance doesn't just chase away physical cold, it melts the frost inside the soul, something every modern society could use more of. Sami women, keepers of Arctic spirit. Tucked away in the frozen expanse of Lapland, the Sami are one of Europe's oldest and most unique indigenous peoples. They haven't just survived in this harsh, cold environment. They've preserved a rich cultural identity for thousands of years. Uniquely, Sami society is matrilineal. The maternal line plays the central role in passing down culture, land, and spiritual traditions. Their traditional clothing carries more than aesthetic beauty. It encodes information about origin and marital status. By simply observing the colors, patterns, and cuts of a Gokti coat, members of the community can tell where someone is from and whether they're married or single. This creates a subtle, nonverbal system of identification that is both meaningful and deeply communal. In Sami culture, women are the guardians of the community's soul. They are not only caretakers and mothers, but spiritual pillars, keepers of rituals, legends, and ancestral memory. While modern society drifts away from tradition, the Sami, especially Sami women, continue to ensure that the cultural flame never dies, even amid the Arctic snow and silence. The Roma, beauty behind tradition. The Roma, often known as gypsies, are one of the world's oldest and most misunderstood nomadic communities. In Finland, they continue to preserve strict traditions around dress, behavior, and social structure, as a way to hold on to identity in a constantly shifting world. Roma women are instantly recognizable in their long, heavy black skirts, garments that are not just worn but symbolize humility, reverence for the community, and ancestral respect. The heavier the skirt, the greater the display of responsibility and virtue. Roma men wear black hats, dress formally, and maintain a composed demeanor at ceremonies, especially in the presence of elders. Their lives follow a rigid set of societal codes, clear gender roles, authority in the hands of the elderly, and unwavering respect for family. Even while living within modern Finnish society, Roma communities fiercely guard their customs, acting as a living archive of cultural memory. They are proof that identity, no matter how small or marginalized, can remain unshakable as stone, if upheld with pride and belief. Cost of living, when modern and simple don't conflict. Despite being one of the world's most developed countries, Finland offers a surprisingly reasonable cost of living. With just $760 to $1,300 per month, you can live comfortably in a country that's clean, safe, and offers a high quality of life. Without luxury or extravagance, Finns embrace a lifestyle focused on sufficiency, where needs are met without the pressure to consume excessively. Housing is typically made up of small but modern apartments, designed with minimalism and closeness to nature in mind. Public transportation is highly developed, reducing reliance on personal vehicles, which is both cost-efficient and environmentally friendly. Fresh, high-quality food is widely available at local markets and supermarkets for fair prices, thanks to a sustainable farming system and efficient domestic supply chains. Interestingly, in Finland, simple living doesn't mean lacking. It's a deliberate choice. People prioritize well-being, they enjoy rest, have access to comprehensive health care, and aren't burdened by a competitive rat race. This is a place where you don't need a lot of money to live with dignity. You just need to know what truly matters to you. Finnish happiness. Not loud, not flashy, just quiet and full. While the modern world often measures happiness through excitement, fame, or wealth, Finland steps away from that race with a different philosophy. Happiness doesn't need to be performed. It's a deep sense of inner peace. A warm cup of coffee in a pine forest, soft sunlight filtering through the window, a calm afternoon by the lake. These seemingly small moments are the true foundations of lasting contentment. Finns don't need to show off their joy. They seek it through balance, between work and life, between self and society. Most importantly, They hold strong trust in their institutions, in a transparent government, fair laws, and a society where no one is left behind. This trust is not blind faith. It is earned through a system built on accountability, openness, and respect for humanity. It is this quietude, free of boastfulness or competition, that has helped Finland retain its title as the happiest country in the world. While others chase happiness far and wide, Finns find it in the present moment, nestled in peaceful nature and rooted in unwavering trust in the society they live in. Sauna, the soul of Finnish culture. If you see the sauna merely as a relaxing steam bath, you've only touched the surface of a tradition deeply embedded in Finnish life for thousands of years. In a country with over 3 million saunas, more than one for every 2 citizens, sauna is not just a health habit, but a spiritual ritual, a heartbeat of national identity. The sauna is a space where all boundaries dissolve, age, status, and religion fade away. Everyone disrobes and enters the warm wooden room as equals, stepping into a sacred space. It's not a place for loud talk or hasty exits. It's a place to return to oneself, to hear your breath, feel the sweat, and let go of burdens. One unique tradition involves plunging into icy water or rolling in snow immediately after the sauna. The shock to the body not only boosts circulation but carries strong symbolism: rebirth. As if each time you exit the sauna, you emerge renewed, body cleansed, spirit lightened. Remarkably, many Finns are born, raised, and even pass away in the sauna. It's not uncommon for elders to choose the sauna as a place for a peaceful departure. This reveals that the sauna is more than a living space. It is a sacred crossroads of body, soul, nature, and spirit, a small temple woven into everyday life. Auroras, where the sky speaks Sami. The aurora borealis, the northern lights, is one of the most breathtaking natural phenomena known to humankind. These ribbons of green, purple, and red dancing across the Arctic night sky don't just dazzle tourists, they leave a lasting impression, as if the sky itself is singing with its soul. But for the Sami, the indigenous people of northern Finland, the aurora is not merely a physical event, but a sacred part of the universe. The Sami believe the northern lights are the spirits of ancestors, manifestations of supernatural forces quietly watching over the living. They never whistle, laugh, or point at the lights, because legend says such behavior may anger the spirits. Instead, they sit in absolute reverence, letting the light pass like a celestial pilgrimage across their minds. Even today, though the aurora has become a tourist magnet, the Sami continue to follow their traditional rituals, not out of fear, but deep respect. In a modern world obsessed with capturing, owning, and filming everything, the Sami choose to be present rather than possessive. They listen to the aurora like one listens to an ancient dream, where nature and humanity are not separate, but united. For this reason, the northern lights are not just a show of color, but a spiritual mirror. They remind us of our smallness in the vast universe, and with that, they teach us to value silence, attentiveness, and humility. To the Sami, each aurora is a miracle, not to be remembered, but to be felt with the entire heart. In Finland, life is quiet but full of meaning. No rush, no noise, just purpose, balance, and beauty in simplicity. So now we're curious. Which part of Finnish life spoke to you the most? Would it be the silence, the saunas, the coffee breaks, or maybe the idea of being fined 50,000 euros for speeding in a Ferrari? Let us know what surprised or inspired you the most.